Hello, and welcome back to What's New at Greenbelt Cinema. I'm your host, Sheila Tiller, and I'm here with Caitlin, who's going to tell us what's going on this month.
Thanks, Sheila. Thanks for being with us again. So this month we have, starting off right away, we're going into Oscar season. So we have the new film Anatomy of a Fall, which is, I got to see this one at the Toronto Film Festival, and it's really excellent. It's about a husband and wife, and he falls to his death, and then it's a question of, did he fall? Did she push him? And so it's a courtroom drama, but it really is about their relationship and memory, and it's really well done. It features Sandra Hüller, who is also in The Zone of Interest, which we will have this fall as well. She's an amazing actress, and yeah, I think people should check that one out. It's going to be definitely on lists of best of, and we'll probably get nominated for some awards this season.
Ooh, neat. I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a smaller title. I think it's the French submission for the Oscars. I know it was in contention, so yeah, so it'll be in the foreign language category, I imagine.
Cool.
But yeah,
it's always nice to get like a leg up on those before you see them
yes,
at the awards.
Right, because it often can be a bit of a mystery of what was that film, or you know, should I pay attention to it? But this one is really excellent.
Cool. So what's coming up next?
We also have the new biopic, Rustin, which is a really interesting look at his role in the civil rights movement. You know, we often hear about it from the perspective of Martin Luther King, and he is in the, he is featured as a character in the film. But it's more about his, the ways in which his personal life prohibited him from being more front and center, that because he was a gay man, he was seen as problematic for the cause, and so he was kept behind the scenes more, which means that now, in terms of history, we don't know his name and his legacy as well, but he was absolutely instrumental in planning and orchestrating the March on Washington. And to see that happen in a pre-digital era is extraordinary. You know, it was just a room full of young people and banks of phones and calling and figuring out, like, how many sandwiches and how many buses.
Wow.
It's really remarkable. So it's really, really well done. So I highly recommend that people check that one out as well.
Cool.
And then for the month of November, our special events, our Monday matinee this month is On Dangerous Ground, which is an amazing Nicholas Ray film featuring Ida Lupino, who was a film star but also was a director in her own right. And yeah, it's a great classic 50s film, and we'll show that on the 6th of the first Monday of the month, so that's the 1 p.m. matinee, and then it repeats as a sort of the throwback Thursday slot at 8 p.m. Thursday of that week. So that's definitely one to check out if you're a Nick Ray fan or even an Ida Lupino fan.
I have a lot of research to do.
Yeah. No, she's one to pay attention to, because she was a director who, and even in the roles that she chose as an actress, was really focused on women's issues, and so she dealt with issues of unplanned pregnancy and rape and abuse and just women's role in society, and kind of shed a light on some subjects that otherwise were not getting treated at that time. And that's both, like I say, the films that she chose to make as a director, and then also the roles that she chose to play for
And this was
herself.
in the 50s?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah. She's a really great character to in film history to pay attention to.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to learn more.
Yeah. And then on the 12th of November, we have Andrew Simpson is someone who we've worked with before, who's an accompanist who is based at Catholic University, and he does a lot of film accompaniment around the DC area. So he does the National Gallery and the Library of Congress and Atlas Theater, and he is coming to accompany a silent film for us called The Flying Ace, and it's from 1926, and it features an all-black cast. So it's really unusual. From that era, and so he'll be providing the live music to go along with it, and I think it's going to be a really special event. And that one is sponsored by a Maryland State Arts Council grant, so we're very grateful to them for their support for that as well.
I love those. I love the live music with silent theater.
Yes, and he is so good at it. I think the accompanists that are best are ones that really know how to use silence as well as sound. So I think he's really skilled in that way. He just does a phenomenal job. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's one to look out for.
Yeah. And then we have a couple of sort of cult classics. So we have on the 16th, we have Goodfellas, which is our regular monthly cult classic. And, you know, having just seen Killers of the Flower Moon, perhaps folks want to see an earlier Scorsese.
Yeah, those go really well together, I feel like, conversationally. Yeah.
It's true. It's true because Killers, you know, it's set in the West, but it's really basically a gangster movie in a lot of ways. And then we have on the 18th, we have the rescheduled event of the screening of The Room with Greg Sestero in person. So we're really excited for that. And
Cool.
that's, you know, the cult of cult films. So if you've never seen it or never heard of it, it is known as the best, worst movie of all time. So I think it's definitely going to be worth it. And he makes a whole evening of it where he does a meet and greet with people and signs things, and he has merch for sale. And then we watch the film together, and then he talks about it afterwards. So it's like, it's a whole, not to be missed night.
Yeah, awesome. What else is going on this month?
We have Storytime on Screen, which is, you know, we do that on the third Monday of the month. And this month the theme is helpers. And our hope is that we're working with the police department, and we also hope to have the fire department and some EMTs here to talk about helpers in your community and get kids introduced to, you know, the folks that they can look out for if they need help. And so that is on the 20th.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. We usually have, you know, we have different themes for different times of the year, and this is I think a really great one to help introduce kids to, you know, what little kid doesn't want to see a fire truck and that sort of thing. So it should be good. Our last special event of the month is our Cinema Classics lecture series. So that is always on the last Monday of the month. So it's the 27th this month. And we are going to be doing an Iranian film. We are going to talk about Close Up, which is the Kiarostami film from 1990.
Cool.
And yeah, I think, you know, for this series, we have tended to look at older films, but this is taking a slightly different turn. And I think, you know, anything over 25 years can be considered a classic, right? So,
is it 25 years old already?
well,
Close Up?
yeah, it's from 1990, so it's like
Oh, that's
30.
weird.
I know. Yes, I know. But it is a classic and in its own right, even if it's from the, you know, later half of the 20th century. But yeah, so we're really looking forward to that. And that one is registration only. So make sure that we cap it. We have it in this room, and we cap it at 25. So be sure to register in advance if you're interested in attending that one.
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'd seen a Taste of Cherry. Is that him? Yeah. And that's kind of, it's interesting that you mentioned Jean Dielman, because I feel like it's very also real time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. So, I mean, if you could sit through Jean Dielman, you can definitely handle Close Up.
Yeah.
And then in our regular programming, so we're getting into Oscar season, so we have all kinds of fantastic films coming down, you know, the fall slate. Coming up soon, we have Alexander Payne's The Holdovers, which I also saw at TIFF, and it's really great. It's the sort of reprisal of Payne's collaboration with Paul Giamatti, and it's set in the 70s in a boarding school, and it's over the Christmas holidays, and it's about some kids that they're the holdovers. They're the ones that can't go home to their families, so they are stuck on campus, and then Paul Giamatti plays the kind of irascible professor who's the one that has to stay behind with them. But it's really sweet. It's really wonderful, and so I highly recommend that one as well. It's a great period piece, but it's also quite touching. And so then we have The Boy and the Heron, which is Miyazaki's latest film. He supposedly retired, but came out of retirement. And I got to see that one in TIFF as well, and it's also extraordinary in his usual style. I mean, it's not in the genre of very kid-friendly the way that Ponyo and Totoro are, but it's extraordinary. It's really beautiful, and we'll show it in the original Japanese with subtitles. So for diehard fans who do not want to see dubbed versions, that's what they'll get.
I can't wait for that one.
Yes, it's stunning. It's really beautiful, and the story is really extraordinary about a boy whose mother has died, and then he's trying to come to terms with his father having married his mother's sister, so his aunt is now his mom, and just about grief and love, and yeah, it's really well done. And then because of that, we were so excited to see that he's releasing a new film that we're going to have a Miyazaki retrospective starting in February.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So stay tuned for those, and we will do those both subbed and dubbed. So for folks that want to bring their kids, then no worries, they don't have to read subtitles. But if you want to see it in the original, we'll have that as well.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, so a few more films that we hope to get that are coming out again in this kind of award season is the new Sofia Coppola film about Priscilla Presley. Yes. And yeah, it looks great, and it's just, having had the Baz Luhrmann version of Elvis that was so much about Tom Parker and Elvis, this one is much more about a teen girl who was suddenly thrust into the spotlight and supposed to be a wife and a mother and, the wife of Elvis. I mean, it's...
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And Sofia Coppola is so good at handling women and young women and, that sort of transition into adulthood. So I think it's, from what I've heard, it's really extraordinary.
Yeah. And I feel like people have a very niche interest in Priscilla Presley specifically, that it's really cool to know that they're finally making a film to explore that.
Yes, it's true. It seems overdue, like, why has this not happened yet?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And who better of a director, like you said?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And then we'll have the new Taika Waititi film, Next Goal Wins, which is about the Samoan soccer team and their incredible losing streak, and how they bring in a coach to help them, so it's based on a true story, but of course it's got the Taika Waititi spin, so it's very funny and it's really enjoyable. And in an award season where it tends to be very heavy, hard films to watch, this one's, pretty joyous and fun. So
yeah, it's great to have those.
And then we hope to also get the new Todd Haynes film, May December, which is also based on a true story. Loosely, I mean, it's pretty close, but it's not referred to as such. It's based on the story of the school teacher who had an affair with her student and then wound up marrying him and having children. So it's a great pairing of Julianne Moore and Natalie Portman, which you don't realize how much they look alike until you see them in this film, where Natalie Portman is studying Julianne Moore as the mom because she's been cast as the actress that will play her in a film. So it's about her adopting her mannerisms and kind of the blurring of, fact and fiction. And
cool.
It's a little bit campy, but it's, also, it's a Todd Haynes
Sounds
film.
very meta.
Yeah. Melodramatic, and so there's even more. There's so many films that are coming out right now, so it's a really rich season for us. So everybody should stay tuned, because we never know what we're able to get last minute. So check out our website at greenbeltcinema.org for the latest details.
Cool. What a month. I'm so excited. Thanks, Caitlin.
Thanks, Sheila. Yeah, and stay tuned for what's coming in December.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you at the movies.